All right. Truth matters. Or does it? Does the truth matter to you? I sure hope so. So what I wanted to do this morning is go ahead and show you what it looks like here, right on my driveway. If you want any of my YouTube Truth stickers, let me, I'm going to pan on around here. The sun is obviously hitting the clouds up there. That's facing northwest right there. The sun is coming up in the northeast. We're looking at the south over the ocean there. Got the Truth Mobile here. I'm going to unpack some things. Artificial intelligence. Robert Forsh. Who in the heck is Robert Forsh? And why won't that guy just shut the heck up? Well, I'll tell you what. I believe the truth matters, and by irony and paradox, the deceived are unaware that they're actually deceived. So, couple of basics, real simple stuff. Okay, I got a wind chime here, and she's not a-moving. There's virtually no wind right now. If you want stickers like that, you can come and pay me a visit, or you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 169 Cloverleaf Drive, Longs, South Carolina, 29568. And I'm well aware that that's highly personal information. My phone number is an anytime number. It's 1-843-504-1776. And you can call it any time. The one is for the country code. In case you didn't know, that's what the United States is. The number 1 in the country codes. Where in the world can a wind chime hang anywhere upside down? Well, only in the imagination. That's where it exists. That's where it exists. Just like, I'll show you how real they actually are. They're not stage props. It's not CGI. It's not expensive NASA fakery. It's just reality. So when you hear a beautiful melodic sound of a wind chime, you can know that that's evidence of the impossibility of the spinning, wobbling, gyrating, oblate water spheroid. Wow, that's a mouthful. Isn't that absolutely ridiculous that people believe they live on a spinning water ball hurling through space? Oh yeah, it is. It is, but that's the reality of so many, is that they believe that you can live on one of these. But that only happens in the imagination. That's the only place that that happens, is what you believe true, the truth, or are you believing a lie? And how will you know? And what is your basis for determining truth? Now, based on the scalloped, or I should say based on the way that the light is being shadowed and the local sun that's approaching, I would say there's beautiful, fluffy, scalloped clouds like that over the ocean. So I'm going to take us on in. I hashtag local sun because Job 37 says, sun's in the midst of the clouds. Works for me. There's a lot of mystery with this world, a lot of things that are not possible for us to actually know for sure. Got a firmament, a firm structure right in front of your viewing there. It's a molten glass window with plastic in it. Safety glass is what it is. It's how it works. It means that if something smashes into it, it won't very likely smash through. Let's add a little light to the subject here. This is one of the other props that I use, the water glass. We've got, the Earth, she's around. No, she's a flat. Well, the water is undisturbed. When it's undisturbed, the surface of it is flat and level. There would be no level anywhere in the world if we were on a spinning, wobbling, and gyrating oblate spheroid. Yeah. It's the water level. It's the liquid level. When calibrating a laser level to make construction, that type of thing, they utilize a liquid level to calibrate it. All right, so I'm going to have a little sip of water here. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? It depends on temperature. I want to show you something. I repurposed this brand new cap off of a Snapple. It seals better. Really, really good. And I filled my jug up all the way to the top. About 70-something degree water inside the house. Put it on the car. It warms up maybe to 110. And then approximately a half an ounce of water. About this much of it will flow out over the top. When it cools back down and I take the lid off, I hear it go, the vacuum break. You've got to have a structure, got to have a barrier to have a pressurized atmosphere. Just so you know, I'm not unscientific, very scientific. I'm paying attention. I bathe in that water, drinking water. I've got 5-gallon polycarbonate jugs that I put the water in. It's got a 2.5-gallon tank for the system, but I'm not going to bathe in 2.5 gallons of water unless I needed to. I would rather towel off with a towel and that purified water than I would bathing in tap water that's got fluoride, chlorine, other people's prescriptions. Yeah, they're recycling the wastewater into drinking water of many municipalities. Just so you know. Good to know. So right now it's 76 degrees outside. I'm going to go ahead and put my temperature up in here to clear the window. The temperature differential drives the water cycle of the world. It heats up, causes evaporation, perspiration, respiration, transpiration. You can look up any of those words if you want to. What is our artificial intelligence, by the way? Well, it's machine learning computers that are actually writing their own software. And it's not people friendly. Oh, where's my prop? I need my prop. See if you can guess who this is. I'll give you a brief introduction. I'll be back. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator franchise. One of the most profitable movie franchises ever. Artificial intelligence isn't just a friendly personal assistant to help you figure out what to remember to buy when you're shopping. It's way more than that. It's going to help reduce a lot of the world population. It's been doing it for a long time. Oh wow, people speeding. People speeding, hurrying up to stop. How about that? It's been going on for a long time. I used to be like this. You think I can take them? I think I can. Yeah, I want to show you the scalloped clouds I was mentioning. Ooh, it's about to change. I gotta get going. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And that's how I roll. That's how race car drivers do it. They know the sequence, they know the timing, all of that. Then I just lock it in at the speed limit. Let them know I mean business. There's the scalloped clouds that I could see the silhouette of. Sorry about the water drops there, but that's what's going on with that. This will help reduce some of my friend mix on Facebook. I'm going to add it to my story. That works really good to help people say, hey, what's he about? What's he got going on there? Oh, he's a flat earther, a conspiracy theorist? Good. Yeah, I don't want any of those people telling me what's really going on. Yeah, don't want that. So a lot of people are living in their computer-generated dream world. It's like the Matrix of sorts. Not necessarily, I'm not saying we live in a computer simulation or in a computer tower somewhere. What I am saying is that We're living around a lot of programmed individuals. Now that's enough heat. I'll just stabilize my temperature so it's virtually the same in and out. That'll be nice. The scalloped clouds I was talking about, you can see in the view there. I saw the evidence of it driving on in or getting on out of the house. The clues are all around us to the world that we actually live in. A lot of people just choose to believe, apparently, the lie they want to believe. Not in control of that. In fact, it's really challenging because I'll even drop in on a post and put hashtag local sun on a video that's saying the only thing we can say about the sun, and it's showing a little flashlight. Yeah, to have a lens on, a lens filter or not. Is the sun 93 million miles away? Well, no, not to be in the clouds. Is it 3,000 miles away? No, clouds aren't 3,000 miles away as far as I know. Where's the edge? Well, I believe the firmament would be the edge as far as we know. On the other side of that's a whole lot of water. We're in like a terrarium as far as I understand. So there's those beautiful scalloped clouds. I'm going to take us out to the pier and show us that up close and personal. So I've had an opportunity to capture the local sun. By the way, that comment was liked and then deleted. It was, oh, somebody liked my comment. Oh, it was the video producer, and then he deleted it. Doesn't want anybody seeing what a freak show you're looking at here. Yeah, I just spend a lot of hours a day capturing reality and exposing it. Oh, well. And I try and balance all the theater and drama that goes along with all this. Supposedly friendly fire. I don't allow every comment to go on my videos either. I just don't want to deal with some of the topics that people will throw out there. However, I do add a lot of other people's content to my liked video playlist. I want to show you something here. We're going to go down a little bit and then up over the intracoastal waterway. Should be absolutely spectacular. The optimal speed to drive is the speed limit for merging and more. That big flat spot in the middle is the water. Just like over there. That's the reality of it. We've got buoyancy, the tendency of heavier than to fall and lighter than to float, whether it's in the air or the water, whatever the atmosphere is. I'm approaching the exit for Sea Mountain Highway in Cherry Grove here, South Carolina, United States. Down at the end of the street is where I captured the video that was termed Local Sun. It's approaching 1 million views in its variety of different occurrences. On my YouTube channel, Truth, that's the name of the channel, is just the word truth. You can hashtag it if you want. That video on my channel has only about 2,000 views. The occurrence of the sun appearing in the clouds, got many, many hours of that. Isn't that special? I've had the opportunity to capture that. Requires a lot of dedication, and that's what I have is a passion, purpose, and an eternal perspective to share the reality, I believe, with the world that's largely busy with distraction, that they're going to be met with a bunch of deception. Ouch. Apparently, according to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, God says to everybody forever and all spiritual entities, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. How about that? Yeah, so God is going to help people believe the lie they apparently want to believe. Isn't that special? Oh well, so I don't know who these people are. or what they are. Are they God's children or Satan's children? Now, I don't know. There's two families in this world. So people that are all excited about finding out the veritable kaleidoscope of conspiracies that are dining on a spiritual smorgasbord of, I'll take a little of this and a little of that, and I don't want any deity telling me what I can do to my body, with my body, and with other people. It's my body. Well, I was bought with a price I couldn't pay, and so I've been commissioned to do something that's extremely unpopular, and that is expose the reality of the world that we live in, and a lot of people are not happy with that, and it's just too bad for them. We've all got an audience, and some people love us, hate us. For example, with me, there's not a whole lot of middle ground. It's a love or hate thing. It's not I'm not so sure. I don't know what to do with that guy. Pretty confident about what he's talking about. Yeah, I am. From a biblical standpoint, as a biblical creationist, I actually believe what the Bible says about the world that we live in. It's not moving. That's why I'll hashtag stationary level Earth. That's more precisely what it is. So is that a water tower there? Oh yeah, and a cell tower, and more. Who knows what other frequencies are being broadcast from and generated around that unit. I know it's pretty important to have standby generators and all that. I'm not anti-technology. I use it every day. So I'm not all freaked out about 5G. I can't unplug it. Artificial intelligence, they show the bald guy talking to Sophia. What if I ask you to kill humans? And I insist. And she says, exterminate, exterminate. Laughing, and then he unplugs her. We can't unplug artificial intelligence. It's active, it's real, it's alive in some form. This is the Russell R. Burgess Coastal Preserve. I've captured a lot of video from this area. One of the common references that I show here is it says dead end and no turnaround. How about that? It's kind of like a meme, but it's true. You can't, once you're dead, all the deciding, as far as I know, is over with. Biblically speaking, that's the reality that we're told. So where the sun and the moon appear and vanish on the horizon, and their duration of visibility between one another can't be explained by a moving Earth. Well, because the Earth isn't moving, whether you like that or not. I don't really, I would say I don't really care. I do care for you. I can't change people's minds necessarily. What I can do is obediently do what I'm created to do and let everybody else deal with it. So one of the spoiler alerts is all that water is flat and level. That undisturbed water in the middle of the view. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. All the puddles. Not some of them. The tide is going out now. I can see the movement there. That's what it's doing. And so I come on out here, show people the reality of the world that we live in, and let you decide. Is what you believe true or something else? If you were deceived, would you know? Well, not by irony and paradox. You would not know. I would not know if I was deceived. So part of the importance, I believe, of showing you areas like this is because I have the opportunity to, and I will. Right in the middle of the view, what do we have there? Well, we've got a porta unit. Is it possible for that to be upside down anywhere else with toilet water not flying out on us? No, it's ridiculous. That world exists only in the imagination. I call them beams, the upside down perspective. That's not possible. Nope. And the system is mocking us, showing how powerfully it can deceive humanity into believing the lie. So the wind is coming out of the southwest. The Prince Resort is in front of the Cherry Grove Pier, facing directly south. The reflection on the water there, although rippled, it's mostly flat and definitely level. More of a matte surface to it. This water in the little tidal pools, well, that's unrippled because of all this grass here, and the wind is blowing out over the top of it. It's part of the construct, part of the dynamic, part of the way it actually works. I recognize some familiar birds out there, like blue herons, little ones. Some of these cranes here I see quite often here. We've got what's called a diurnal tide, a high and low twice a day. Quickest way to zoom out is to flip it around, just so you know. I may go ahead and convert this to a YouTube video. May. Not sure. Once again, I'm going to just show you, I'll rubber band it on my wrist. That just makes it a lot easier to do this. Let me go ahead and zoom out. Yeah, that's not possible. But most of humanity believes they live on one of those, even though all this flat water is all around. And level. It's not just flat, it's level. That's the point of that. It's not just that it's flat. We would have no level anywhere on a moving earth. Just think about it. Apply your critical thinking, if you will. So on my YouTube Truth playlist, which is an audio Bible, I've got from the Gospel of John to the Book of Revelation recorded out here, showing the tidal activity, high and low, in the summertime. In the summer, the sun comes up in the middle of the view there. In the winter, it comes up in the middle of the view right about now. Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? The low spot in the parking lot is where they stick the drains. It's just the way it is. It's how it actually works. That's the reality of it. It doesn't matter how many digits somebody has in their Monopoly Money bank account, or how many letters around their name, Doctor of Divinity. Oh, Doctor of Divinity works for a creation research ministry. Let's say answers in Genesis. Answers not found in Genesis. Yeah, they're part of the deceptive organization. How about Joel Osteen, Your Best Life Now, with the spinning globe on the stage? He's part of the mesmerizing charlatans, one of the snake oil salesmen. Oh well, I'm outing him. I'm telling on him. I'll do that because I can. So even within this whole discussion of the shape of the earth and me being aware we're not on a globe, I'll have people delete my comments that are apparently friends and supposedly family. Oh well. Yeah, it would lead them back. If somebody sees my comment, then they'll come on over to my page and see what I'm about. Oh well. Oh well. I'll just do what I can. And it is a bit frustrating. My wife Joni has been leaving me for about 5 years now. She left a long time ago as far as I'm concerned emotionally. I'm not saying that for sympathy. I'm just saying that because it's reality. And in the midst of that, I'm not all bummed out. I'm not all searching for another Mrs. Forsh. One and done. Don't need any more. Did that. When, whoa, sorry about that. When loving the truth is more important than keeping the partner happy, whether it's a wife or whether it's a live-in situation. A lot of people go for the live-in model of relationships because if they aren't doing what the other person wants, then they can just tell them to pack up and move, leave. It's what happens. It's what people do. So the water is seeking its level, of course. It's what it does all over the face of the stationary Earth. I've shown the water going this direction with whirlpools spinning in opposite directions right next to one another. Because the tide is going out right now, we can see this a bit different. There's a couple more feet of clam beds in that we can see. All of this will be covered up by water. In fact, when we had Hurricane Matthew, it covered up the grass even. Kind of freaked out the little bird there. No problemo. I'm going to still take us over to the ocean. Oh, look at this. Wow. A lot of current there. More birds, too. If I try climbing down that, I'll just slide and get all busted up. So I've got to kind of step on down on these rocks. Now, I don't know that I'm going to be able to show it to you exactly right now. We've got a whirlpool going that direction. This vortex right there will help create a vortex in the opposite direction there. I've got video proving it. So the toilet water spin in one direction in one hemisphere, supposedly in another. That's just baloney. That's just not any indication of any earth movement. It has to do with the shape of the basin, the shape of the container, and the flow. We've got the flow going out here, the flow going out here. That's what it does. That's just how it is. So there's people that have all kinds of beliefs. Oh yeah, the toilet water spin and the pictures of the Earth from the moon. That's the evidence that they have for the spinning globe, and a lifetime of indoctrination to believe that lie. Bummer. Oh, what about mass shootings? We're in an election cycle, a gun grabbing effort. One more time, you can hashtag crisis actors if you want. So why would they hire crisis actors right around the events of the shootings? Just think about it. And to have to sign a disclaimer that they may be killed during the event. Huh. How about that? Conspicuous by its presence. So I'm not saying all mass shootings are choreographed by a dark force. Ultimately, Satan, I believe, would be involved in them in some way or another. It's just that the New World Order wants less guns in the hands of the peasants, so to speak. But there's a more powerful weapon than that, and I'm using it right now. Worldwide instantaneous portable communications, and wanting to help mobilize anybody who will be willing to tell the truth. I believe technically if I were to roll through a stop sign, not come to a complete stop, I could get a ticket. The system knows how fast the phone is traveling right now. 25 and a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. And it's just how I roll. Why would I do anything different? Why would I speed? I don't need to. I don't need to speed. So what I'm going to do right now is rig this up on top of the P1000. That's one of the other weapons of mass instruction that I'll use to show people a world from a different perspective, a different vantage point. Thanks for sticking with me. I'm not sure how many of the groups I'll share this with. By the way, the groups like to have a high concentration of admins that are censors, censoring information, just so you know. Here's the setup. Hey there. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the, I'm going to give a good screen start for my P1000 video. Alright, this is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Truth matters, I would say. Reality and truth, I believe, are interchangeable. What's the truth about everything that you can find out? And does it matter? I would say so. I would say the truth matters. Good morning, Sally. Oh, doing great. Another beautiful day. So we had the beach renourishment here, and we've had it multiple times in the past couple of years because of storms, modified storms. You can hashtag weather wars if you like. They're modified to create and move tropical storms, hurricanes, and the like. It's just what happens. Oh wow, we've got a photo op there. A lot of people come out here to take pretty pictures next to the pier. In the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area, there will be national events that happen. Baseball, softball, cheerleading, athletic events, all that type of thing. So the sun comes up in the middle of the view from this vantage point in the summer, in the winter over here. So the water fills its container, covers the face of the stationary Earth. That's the Prince Resort there, and I've just dropped down about 5 feet. To put the cloud in the middle of the view there, I just walk over this way. And it's a pretty level reflection there. Ah, beautiful view. So I won't have the benefit of the reflector over there so much. I've got it right here for this vantage point. Yes, should be very beautiful. If the sun were the 93 million mile away distance, that whole view would be lit up, not that little spot right there. So when they talk about coronal mass ejections and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't work with enclosed cosmology of a firmament, separating the waters from above from the waters below. It's all a big lie. So I'm just outing that. The supposed astrophysicists or experts on the matter with all their credentials, they're lying, and I ain't buying. And I'm telling on them. I don't know how long I'll get to do this. I'll do it as long as I can. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. That's what I bring to the discussion with all this. Okay, so it's pretty spectacular right now. This is the kind of setup that I was talking about in my local sun video that's been viewed almost 1 million times, is that there would be a heavy consistency clouds and then lighter clouds around it. Now, some people in the supposed truth movement will say that this is disinformation, that it discredits the whole movement. Oh well, believe whatever you want or whatever you can. I'm looking at clear, direct light without the clouds in front of it, and I'm clearly seeing clouds behind it, just as Job 37 talks about the sun being in the midst of the clouds. I capture it a lot. You can see it on my channel if you want, or just scroll on by. I'm born again. Your disbelief in the historic Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahweh, the Alpha and Omega, the living Word, the living water, your belief or disbelief doesn't affect my salvation. I'm just empowered to proclaim the truth of the reality of the existence of the biblical account, that God's Word is true and all others are suspect. There should probably even be the book of Enoch included in Scripture. Jesus favorably mentioned Enoch, and so did Jude. So God mentioned favorably Enoch. That works for me. We weren't told he was somebody to watch out for. He walked with God, and then he was no more. God took him. So I was a dead man walking and didn't know it, by irony and paradox. I have some video with the sun appearing in the clouds. I don't say much of anything, if you prefer that. You can mute it and open up another window if you don't want to hear my talking. I would say what I'm saying is probably even more important than what I'm showing. Seeing is believing. What do we see and what do we believe? So I encourage people to get out and experience reality. I believe that's what we're looking at here, is reality. I met an angry Catholic lady who didn't think she needed to be born again to see the kingdom of heaven. She was hating on me taking pictures on the beach and making people uncomfortable. I said, well, where are you going to spend eternity and why? She said, well, I'm going to spend it with my God. I'm a Catholic. I was baptized. I said, well, not in the exact same moment. I shared with her that I used to be Catholic and that it's a false religion and it's ultimately Satanism. All of the anti-biblical spirituality is Satanism in a different flavor. You can namaste this and that. You got to be born again. You got to be born of the Spirit of the Creator of this world. You can, if you want to blame the Crusades on Christianity, I think you've got to look a little bit deeper in that it was the Jesuits in the Dark Ages, the Catholic order, the Catholic Mason connection of disinformation and deception. Masons, Mormons, fake moonwalkers, astrophysicists, liars, deceivers. Can look at hashtag the transpocalypse, the transgendering, transhumanism. They're modifying people in vitro. Can look at the Genesis 6 account of angels cohabitating with women, creating the Nephilim, and they were in the land before and after the flood that covered the face of the earth to over the tops of all the mountains. The flood that Noah prepared for had 3 water sources. God caused it to start raining. Up until then, apparently it didn't rain. Then he opened up the floodgates of heaven, the firmament, and the fountains of the deep. Fountains, floodgates, and rain. Wow. Could flood this world experience, this earth that we're living on, in seconds, depending on how much you want to open it up and how quickly. How about that? Isn't that special? So then there's all kinds of people that will subscribe to National Geographic and Nat Geo and all these deceivers. We even used Bill Nye as a science guide for our homeschooling. Unaware, we told our sons that he's got evolution wrong, but you can learn a lot from him. Yeah, you can learn a lot of deception from Bill Nye. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Look at these ships disappearing over the horizon. Yeah. I've seen the episodes, Bill. You're lying. We've got optical limitations. We can't see through much humidity, especially when the sun lights it up. I've got a P1000 that'll zoom in on the moon craters. There's no rover or flag up there that I've been able to see. No satellites whirling around. Satellite dishes are dishes that are focused up on the frequency location of the dome that different communication system is broadcasting to. So satellites are code for a broadcast system that's of a different method and frequency, bouncing it right off of the structure of the dome. So I nailed it again today, the sun appearing in the clouds. You might want to come back later and check it out. Heck, if you want to see it right now, a different day of it, you can. Hashtag local sun. Go by my channel. Check it out if you want to. I've covered it. I've covered it many, many times. Yeah, I know I've got a little wind on my mic. I'm using a $300 surround sound on my iPhone, and well, I'm using the hot shoe bracket for my my iPhone. It's an iPhone 10. I think it does a pretty good job. So right now I'll go ahead and pan on around. I've been out here at the beach, and I've had a reading of 260 feet above sea level. Yeah, that's not right. And then 10 feet below sea level. They can't both be right. I'll assure you they were both wrong. There's my friend Luke and his wife getting ready to go out surfing. Isn't that special? That's nice that they do that kind of thing together. So I'll take us out here a bit. Laws of perspective. The pier is pretty level, and it looks taller at this end than this end, but that's just because of the distance away. We're expecting about 20 million guests here this year. I've done a lot of recording and broadcasting out here. It's all cameraed up. You can go to the Prince Resort online and operate the cameras up at the top of the buildings there, or out at the end of the pier. There's also cameras there that you can operate from your remote location, if you care to. So we had a little bit of slope with the sand. We can see that on the reflection of the building. I'll zoom in a little bit of that. You'll see it a little bit more clearly there. And then when the water fills this spot right in the middle of the view, it's going to be virtually level for a while. I may move back and forth. So the thing with surfing is you got to get out there. So I'm going to zoom in on the surfers a bit. So in a smaller version of the ships going over the horizon, the surfers right on the water here apparently disappear, but they're real close. We just can't see through much water. That's all. I'm not concerned with the false positive apparently, or any of that. I'll just show you what I see and tell you about it. Hey Luke. Wow, this is beautiful. Hey, doing great. Did you see the one I had of you spinning around on the board yesterday?
Oh, I didn't get that far.
It's in there.
What minute is it in?
I'm not exactly sure. Right. It's one of the thumbnails with a surfer walking out right next to it. Okay. If it's not that one, you can scroll through real quick and you'll see you were out there and you did a spin around. It was really cool. Excellent. Did you get all those stickers I dropped off the other day?
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I got a little bicycle with the van last night.
Is there anything else you'd want to tell my audience here?
Oh, Robert's a cool guy. I like this guy. See you in the morning, go surfing.
Hey, thanks so much, Luke. Good to see you all out here. So now we've got the sun shooting through the other side, and I'll just zoom right on up there. Yeah, there it is. There's only one thing I can say about there's a lot I can say about the sun. It's mysterious, it's part of the creation, it heats up the world that we live in, creates the process of photosynthesis, the generation of energy and nutrition for our bodies, directly hitting us and transferring energy to us, as well as creating energy in plants and the nutrition that I enjoy a lot of. A lot of the highly nutritious food that I consume is liquefied. I don't juice, I just liquefy spinach, kale, chia seed, hemp hearts, broccoli, apple cider vinegar, mixed berries, bananas, applesauce, apple juice, grape juice, the healthiest stuff I can put in my body. And then I keep the toxic garbage out. That's why I bathe in the drinking water. And in the drinking water that I bathe in, I'll add some coconut oil, like a 1/4 cup to 30 gallons of water that I heat up on the stove. I store those water jugs. I store up the water in jugs. I can fill it up in a day. My system costs a couple $100. I can fill it up in less than a day, about a half a day. There you go. There's a lot of mystery with this. And then the water changes volume and density with temperature. You can look it up. A gallon of water changes in its weight because of the volume and density. You can check that out if you want. I talk about it, show it. When we breathe, when we exhale, we respire. The moisture comes out of us. When we perspire, the water, it's reverse osmosis. The water goes in and leaves whatever nutrients and chemicals in our body largely. And if it's fluoridated water with other people's prescriptions, not good. We've got documentaries backing all this stuff up. So if I go ahead and copy and paste this link into a video that I share to 70 groups, I'll get put into Facebook jail, because the groups have a high occurrence of the censors of Facebook. It could actually just be artificial intelligence working in concert with that. Some of the frustration that we encounter may be automated chatbots that aren't actually human beings. There's evidence of that. I get solicited by chatbots to automate my social media persona. I'm not using much of that at all. There's a certain amount of it already that occurs by whether or not my posts in my story or any of that is presented to you. I really don't have much control over that at all. I just know that after a broadcast like this, letting people know that they're deceived if they believe they live on a big spinning water ball. Some people are, or the moon landing is a hoax, or there's school shootings and mass shootings that are choreographed by a system of the New World Order control. I start mentioning that and people will say, yep, whack job, tinfoil hat, where call me anytime. 1-843-504-1776. Come and meet me on the beach if you want, or send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 169 Cloverleaf Drive, Long, South Carolina 29568. I'll send you some stickers. That's a mention for the P1000 recording especially. So when I have multiple recordings going, I'll repeat myself, and I'll repeat myself anyway, because the truth is divisive and it doesn't change. It's not determined by popular opinion or what people want to believe. It's determined by God. So he tells us what the reality is, and I'm simply relaying that as best I've been able to figure it out. Because I was a dead man walking and didn't know it, and then when I was actually born again in 2014 on Reformation Day, as Satan's family celebrates his holiday, his high, wicked, holy day, I go ahead and I was born again then. So I'm grateful for that. God has a tremendous sense of humor and irony with it all. So I used to hand out tracts on Halloween. Now that I'm actually born again, I'm able to reach around the world with God's providence to show the reality of the world that we live in, and also proclaim His Word. I have not abandoned my mission of the Great Commission. That's going on too, and I'm exposing the deeds of darkness as well. That's a proclamation in Ephesians 5. I didn't mention this on the P1000 recording yet, so I will now. According to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So they're going to believe the lie that they apparently want to believe. God is going to help them do it. That's the way it is. I can't overcome that with innovative marketing or creative content production. There's a YouTube lawsuit potentially pending. Apparently YouTube has conducted themselves in a manner that may be illegal. I believe it to be, and there's censorship that's going on that I believe they're going to be penalized for, and the way that they're treating content producers like yours truly, wanting to put me down a digital dirt road in a quarantine rather than outright take my channel down. They make it just very difficult for people to find my content. Oh well, I'll do what I can with what I have. Now, I've got on my liked video playlist documentation of this action that's pending right now. I'm going to zoom in on Luke out here. Nice ride. There you go. What I'm finding out is that they're out here on the beach. The beach and the water are reflective. The people that come out here have a tendency to be more reflective on their lives, the lives around them. They show quite often a passion for reaching out and helping others. A lot of rescue dog owners come out here. People that go to the pound and rescue a dog. I'm wanting to help rescue any of humanity that will, to know the reality of the world that we live in. People are out here searching. They're walking on the beach and they're looking for meaning and purpose and maybe a memento to take home with them. Maybe a new relationship. A lot of shattered lives. That's all part of the construct. That's part of the reality of the world we live in. People date, they get married sometimes, or just live together, and then sometimes they become so different that they no longer are compatible. Some might call it irreconcilable differences. Well, in a world that God is all-powerful and all-knowing, He does work miracles. Some people that are asleep right now may wake up to the reality of the world we live in. It may be God Himself that's hitting the snooze button on their life. Kind of interesting, isn't it? So it's beyond my control. I understand that. So I'm at about the end of my P1000 broadcast. I want to thank you all for your watching, your liking and sharing, public and private encouragement, the birthday greetings and wishes. Thank you so much. You can call me anytime. That's why I put my number out there. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share. I'm also on the library platform as well, blockchain technology, and Twitter, Instagram, Robert J. Forsch. You can find all my content on my Facebook and YouTube. It's all linked together if you care to. Thank you so much. Alright, so that was the end of the P1000. Now what I can do, I'll just do this a little bit, is take a few photos. And now I can zoom. I'll zoom in a little bit more with the iPhone 10. It's a beautiful day out here, a beautiful place to be. So when I go live on Facebook like this, potentially there's, like, I believe about 2 billion users that can come on out here if they like. Come on to the Find My Broadcast if they care to. So there is definitely mystery with the creation, that's for sure. The sun works largely like a laser beam shooting across the water. One of the reasons we can't see Europe from here is because of all that humidity. That's just the way it actually is. There we can see the end of the pier. Now there we can't see the beginning of the pier. About the same distance from here. Not exactly, but close because of the angle of perspective. When we're dealing with a gallon of water expanding about a half an ounce with a 30-degree temperature differential or so, we're dealing with a lot of precision. The Myrtle Beach skyline is about 25 miles away, 25 to 30. You can look at the way the shape of the area is. There's a curve to it. There we go. So because of the nature of the area and so many people coming here, there will be professional photography that occurs right up around the pier here quite a bit. Wedding videography and photography, weddings on the beach, special events, memorials, all of that happens around here. So that's largely why I do this. I care about people's souls for eternity. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. At some point in this human experience, the child of God will be born again. That's for sure, and that's forever. I'm so glad that that's happened to me, and I've got plenty of content on my channel to elaborate on that. I want to flip this on around and help you just enjoy the beauty of this.